BLA rebels, they've claimed that 90 Pakistan army personnel have been killed in this latest attack. Can the Pakistan establishment sustain a long war on the BLA given its weak economy?
See, Pakistan has been claiming that they have been crushing BLA. The statements that had come from the DGISPR in the Jaffar Express hijack also showed that they had completely neutralized 33 BLA fighters. They call them terrorists. And once again, in today's attack, they are showing that there are casualties of 7. Whereas the BLA says that the casualty figure is quite high. It is around 90. We'll have to see how the BLA is preparing, because we've been seeing a change in their strategy, change in their attack, and change in their numbers and the number of attacks. They are spiraling, especially in the month of March. So we have to see what kind of assistance they are getting, how they are preparing, what kind of weapons they are procuring, and how far can they take this fight against Pakistani security forces. As of now, the Pakistani government, the Pakistani army, and the Pakistani security forces have been downplaying and claiming that BLA is quite weak in front of them.
Shivani, will the Pakistan army resort to using its air force against the BLA?
See, we've already seen some pictures where the Pakistan's army aviation has already launched aerial asset attack out there to neutralize these BLA soldiers. That's what the Pakistani army has been claiming, that their forces have countered this attack. They have been trying to take the whole position into their control. They have used their aerial assets. And that's what they had done in the previous attack too. We had shown some exclusive pictures of the Pakistan's army's helicopters out there. And today also these helicopters have been pushed into action to neutralize the BLA fighters who are there on ground, who have attacked the Pakistani forces convoy that comprised of 8 vehicles. They were traveling, and en route they were attacked. One of their buses, as we can see in the pictures, is completely damaged, and there's just no chance of anybody surviving. If the person was in that bus, it's completely blown out. And a very important out here, Chetna, to mention is that this is a similar attack that happened in 2019 in Pulwama. Remember where the CRPF jawans, they were traveling in a bus. The bus was completely blown out by the terrorists. And in this particular attack, which the BLA has claimed responsibility, is also a similar attack where a bus in which these Pakistani soldiers were traveling from one place to another, they were moving for their deployment. They have been killed in similar manner as we saw in Pulwama in 2019.
Right, Shivani, with this latest attack, can we say that the Pakistan military is suffering for using terror as state policy?
Certainly, Chetna, see the figures that have been coming out and we've been reporting is that it has been facing maximum casualties on its security personnel year after year. And this year, the numbers are high. And it is presumed, the experts who have been analyzing these figures, they say that this can be the most devastating year for Pakistani forces, because month on month, the figures are rising. And they're saying that by the end of 2025, these figures may rise to 1,400. That can be the biggest number so far for the security forces of Pakistan to suffer these casualties. So what Pakistan had done for others, it had been supporting terror, it has been pushing terrorists inside Indian boundaries, it has launch pads. Now Pakistan is suffering this terrorism from all sides, not only from Balochistan, but the TTP, the Afghanistan group. They are also attacking the security forces of Pakistan. So Pakistan is now completely devastated in terms of fighting terror inside its country, because it had been a supporter of terrorism. It had been using those terror launch pads against India. It had been hiding figures, and it's doing so now too. So Pakistan is facing trouble in terms of the terror attacks that are happening and escalation of these terror attacks, and especially the Baloch Liberation Army that has been operating against these security forces, and it has actually changed its strategy, its plan, the way it had been fighting. Remember, Chetna, there were attacks initially too. There were attacks on the engineers of China. the Chinese nationals who used to work in the CPEC projects in Pakistan. But this time, what we are seeing is a completely changed style by the BLA rebels. They are now fighting with the strategy. They are now fighting with the specific inputs of intelligence. And these are two major attacks which we have witnessed in last 4 days, where they claim that more than 150 security personnel of the Pakistani forces have suffered casualties by them.
Absolutely, Shivani. And as we speak, we're seeing the first images of the deadly Pakistan ambush, wherein the BLA rebels, the BLA army has said that they've claimed lives of 90 Pakistan army personnel. But Shivani, you mentioned Afghanistan, and I'd like to ask you, is the Taliban government in Afghanistan providing any support to Baloch insurgents? Can you tell us anything about that?
See, we cannot say directly what's happening out there. Is there a collaboration between the two or not? But yes, what we are seeing is that there is a boomerang of terror which the Pakistani security forces, the Pakistani government is facing these days. These terrorists are actually attacking the security forces. And today in the morning, there has been a big incident where the unknown gunmen have killed a wanted terrorist that was wanted by India, wanted internationally. And the BLA attackers, the BLA fighters are also increasing the number of attacks, the intensity, the magnitude, the way they have been attacking, the numbers which they are claiming as casualties against Pakistani security forces. So certainly Pakistan is losing on numbers in terms of its soldiers. The attackers are working on inputs of intelligence, like if we talk about the Jaffar Express attack too, Chetna, that was a specific intelligence input in which the BLA knew that more than 200 security force personnel were traveling. They were going on leave to from Quetta. And this particular attack, which has taken place today, is another example of how BLA has been working on intelligence inputs. It's working just to target the security forces of Pakistan in Balochistan, and it is again and again reiterating that it doesn't want the interference of the security forces in Balochistan. It does not want any Pakistani forces in Balochistan. It doesn't want any CPEC projects that Pakistan and China have been working together, because they think that this is exploiting their resources, this is exploiting their people, it is taking away the opportunities for the BLA, for the Baloch people in Balochistan. So this fight seems to have taken a new turn, where the BLA seems to be have come up with a bigger plan with more intense kind of attacks that it has been making on the security forces of Pakistan.